Good morning. Happy Friday, everybody. Thank you all for being here. I want to, of course, welcome the folks from Harvest. Thank you very much again. Happy Friday to the folks that came from off island. Thank you very much. I want to also welcome this morning to the public hearing room, of course, our speaker, Frank Blas Jr., and Vice Speaker, V. Tony Ada. Thank you very much, and hopefully we'll have some more senators joining us because we'll be having an oversight here in a few minutes, and likewise emergency session at 9 o'clock as well. Let's all ahead begin. Mina'trentai Liheslaturan Guåhan, resolution number 102-38 sponsored by myself, of course, Speaker Blas, Vice Speaker Tony Ada, and all other senators of the 38th Guam Legislature. Relative to recognizing the Harvest Baptist Church and Harvest Christian Academy for its dedication to Christian education and service to our island community and Micronesia region, and commemorating its 50 years of faithful ministry, and to further congratulating them on the celebration of its Golden Jubilee. Speaker.
You want me to?
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, yeah, because we have 3 pages.
Okay. Actually, this is the part where he doesn't tell us. So, okay. Be it resolved by Mina'trentai Liheslaturan Guåhan, whereas on July of 1975, a handful of devoted believers gathered humbly on a front porch in Manila under the leadership of missionary pastor Bruce Ring, planting the seeds of what would become Harvest Baptist Church, a spiritual sanctuary whose influence has now spanned a half a century. And later that same year, the congregation established a permanent spiritual home in Barragata and opened Harvest Christian Academy, which began with a small student body drawn largely from church families and has since flourished into one of the Guam's premier private schools, serving approximately 1,000 students each year across K-3 through 12th grade. And Harvest Christian Academy has remained steadfast in its dedication to student advancement by combining excellence in education with spiritual formation, developing critical thinking, mastery of traditional core subjects, and age-appropriate methodologies, while engaging in continual improvement through accreditation protocols, annual evaluation, and standardized testing. And for 5 decades, Harvest Christian Academy has nurtured generations of students to not only achieve academic success, but also to serve as faithful servants, leaders of Christ across the globe, excelling in many different professions and fields of endeavor. And Harvest Baptist Church has been shepherded by faithful pastors whose devotion to the gospel has guided her congregation with humility and vision. Pastor Bruce Ring, 1975 to 1978. Pastor John Lewis, 1979 to 1998. Pastor Dan Pelletier, 1998. Pastor Marty Heron, 2000 to 2018. And Pastor Gary Walton, 2018 to present. And today, more than 800 worshipers gather weekly at Harvest Baptist Church, continuing her mission of helping people develop a heart for God. And Harvest's outreach ministries includes KHMG 88.1 FM, Harvest Family Radio, which for 30 years has provided Christian broadcasting and community updates to Guam. Harvest House Foster Care Ministry, which embodies Christ's compassion by providing vital support to foster children on island. Pacific Rim Christian Camp, and the Hub Coffee Shop, which serve as spaces of connection and fellowship.
Whereas Harvest Baptist Bible College was founded to glorify God by training students to develop a heart for God through Bible training, culminating in a Bachelor of Arts degree designed to prepare future ministers and laymen for service in local church. And whereas Harvest Baptist Bible College emphasizes the life-changing power of sound doctrine, instilling beliefs that transform behavior, and produce spiritually healthy living, ensuring that its over 425 graduates carry forward the Great Commission throughout Micronesia and beyond.
Whereas for 50 years, Harvest Baptist Church and Harvest Christian Academy have stood at pillars of faith, education, and community, offering stability in seasons of change, encouragement in times of uncertainty, and joy in times of celebration, while sharing the eternal hope of Christ on Guam across the Pacific and throughout the world. Now, therefore, be it resolved.
Resolved that the Speaker certifying the legislative secretary attests to the adoption thereof of the copies of the same be transmitted to Ms. Ann Wright, widow of founding pastor Bruce Wing, 1975 to 1978, Mrs. Becky Lewis, widow of pastor John Lewis, 1979 to 1998, and Pastor Dan and Chris Pelletier, pastor in 1998, and longtime Harvest staff from 1985 to 1995. Pastor Marty and Tammy Herron, 2000 to 2018. Pastor Gary and Faith Walton, 2018 to present. And the congregation of Harvest Baptist Church and the student body, faculty, staff, and administration of Harvest Christian Academy, and to the Honorable Lourdes A. Liangro Emagahaga Guåhan, duly and regularly adopted by the Mina'trentai Ocho Liheslaturan Guåhan on the first day of October 2025, signed by, of course, Speaker Frank F. Blas Jr., and Legislative Secretary Sabrina Salas Matanani. And before I guys up, I want to, of course, welcome Senator Tina Rose Munya Barnes. Happens to be my niece, and the Vice Speaker is my cousin. and Frank is a cousin as well. So we're all in the family here, yeah. We're going to convert Tina to be a Republican. Again, it's the honor and pleasure as being a member of Harvest Baptist Church. It's a great honor and pleasure to be before you and to be here to celebrate your 50th anniversary. And I'm looking forward to the next 50 years when we all sitting here again and doing the same thing, right? Or maybe right there we'll be sitting in a better place with the Almighty, right? There we go. Thank you very much. So let's call all of you up, please. Come up. Yeah, thank you. Yes, we all want all the current pastor and former pastors to say a few words. Please, yes, please come on up. Pastor Gary, and then we can go with Pastor Heron, and yeah, everybody else.
No, we're not shy. We're used to the mic. So. Well, I want to say thank you, Senator Lujan. You have been a faithful member at Harvest, and it's great to be able to celebrate this together with you. The people of Guam, thank you, senators, for your goodness to us. You know, I've said this a few times, said it to the senators, the governor. A Sunday morning at Harvest, I think, represents the island of Guam maybe better than any other gathering across the island. If you come into a Sunday morning at Harvest, 800 people plus, and you'll just see every segment of Guam represented across our church family. And it's a beautiful thing. For 50 years, God has grown up a ministry that has impacted our island and impacted our people in such a powerful way. You know, often we think about the brokenness of our island, and a church is a place that is a rescue operation. I hope that you see and sense that Harvest has been that for many, many years and continues to be that. And not only a rescue operation for individuals, lives, and families, but you know, really attempting. You know, sometimes you feel like, I don't know if you guys feel this, but sometimes you feel like you're at the bottom of rushing rapids, and people are kind of tumbling over the rapids, and a church is kind of at the end, helping the people to not drown at the end. And you know, our burden really is that we'd get up on the top of the rapids and help people truly develop a heart for God so that we wouldn't have to experience all the brokenness that comes, with so much of life. And so that's what the church ought to be, a place where people find hope and help and scripture that points us to Jesus, who really is the one who authors salvation and forgiveness. And so we're honored to, for 50 years, to be able to celebrate that together. Of course, Mrs. Ring is right here. Well, I'm going to introduce real quick, and then I'll let you, Mrs. Ring. Her husband, Bruce, came in 1975 along with their family. David's here, their son, and the ministry was started under them. Mrs. Lewis not feeling great, so she's actually not with us this morning, but Pastor John Lewis, pastor for many years, and much of the ministry grew up under him. Pastor Dan and Chris Pelletier were part of Harvest for 18 years, did I count there? 13 years in the core part of what God had done and their ministry together. And then Pastor Heron, of course, so well known across the island, just been used of God. And so thankful for each one, but they really just represent many people over the course of the history that God's used. Mrs. Ring, you want to say anything?
It's such a privilege to come back to Guam. We were here only 3 years, but my heart is still here. And I didn't want to leave Guam. I loved it here. And but God blessed, and we felt that we should leave the island and let the church continue to grow on. And it is a blessing to come back and to see what God has done in this place.
We are grateful for the opportunity we had to be here for the 13 years we were here. And we've only been in this room one other time, and I think that was when we honored Pastor Lewis for his years of service before he left. So it's an honor to be back here a second time. And it's great to know that God took a Harvest from what it was, a bunch of shipping container classrooms, into what it is today. And we're just grateful to be a part of it. Thank you so much for letting us be here.
Thank you. It has been a pleasure to be back on the beautiful island of Guam. Had a huge impact on our family. We came with 6 of us. We left with 21. And all of our children deeply are impacted, the thumbprint of Guam in their life today, and the friendships. And I know that faith has always been a part of people's lives, and Harvest Baptist Church has always been committed to people having the security of 3 homes: a home on earth and a domestic home, a church home, as Harvest has been, and someday a heavenly home. And those are 3 homes I think everyone needs. And for families on Guam, we're thankful for the influence we've had. Appreciate it, Senator.
I got to tell the story just real quick. I was telling Pastor Heron, actually even Pastor Gary and Tammy about this. About a year ago, of course, I was baptized under, of course, Pastor Heron at Harvest. And their son-in-law, Kevin and Afuko, and my son were really good friends. And a year ago, I went and visited my son and his family. And earlier in the day, we were talking about friends of ours that we haven't seen in a while. And Kevin's name, we haven't seen Kevin in a while. And so we talked about it later on the day, and this was in San Diego. And at that time, Kevin had moved to Hawaii. So later in the day, my son and I and my grandkids went shopping at Carlsbad Mall there. And we're walking through the mall. And my son goes, "That looks like Kevin." And I looked at it, I said, "Yeah, it sure looks like him, but all of us, we have lookalikes, right?" And because we're darker skin, I said, "He's probably Mexican, And I said, "But I can't let this go." Walked a little further, so I yelled out, "Kevin!" He turned around and I said, "Oh my God, we were just talking about Kevin earlier in the day." And we were in San Diego, and my son and Kevin were good friends, and so we met up there. And he was there to perform a wedding, and he was staying down in the city in San Diego, about 50, 60 miles away. He was just driving by. He said, "I needed to stop by to get some shoes, I said, buy a pair of shoes because I'm going to do a wedding. I just drove in, and we happened to be there. So, the Lord just brought us together, And it was one of those things that, I had the biggest goosebumps. But again, it's an honor and pleasure. Thank you, Pastor Ms. Herron. Again, I came of faith under your leadership at Harvest, and now, of course, with Pastor Gary, and I meet with him often with church family, but thank you very much. And again, on behalf of 38th Guam Legislature, congratulations on your 50th anniversary, and we look forward. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to celebrate this weekend, but I helped celebrate a little bit last night and today. So again, congratulations. God bless to everybody. And so again, thank you very much. Happy day to everybody. And this concludes our resolution presentation, the 50th anniversary of Harvest Baptist Church and Harvest Christian Academy, and HBBC as well, Harvest Bible Christian College. Thank you very much. We'll be back for another certificate presentation. Take a quick break. Thank you very much again. Welcome back. Now we'd like to recognize an individual that, again, had devoted a lot of time in government of Guam, especially to the Department of Education. And we'll be presenting on behalf of the 38th Guam Legislature, presenting a certificate to Dora Paco Cruz, certificate number 212-38COR, sponsored by myself, alongside Speaker Blas, Vice Speaker Ada, and Ranking Member, of course, Tina Rosemina Barnes, and all other senators of the 38th Guam Legislature. Certificate of recognition presented to Dora Paco Cruz, Department of Education, Ontalan Middle School, March 13, 2002 to September 29, 2025, for your dedication, commitment, and contributions throughout your 25 years of service in the Department of Education, and to congratulate you on your retirement. The Committee on Rules of Mina'trentai, Ocho, Liheslaturan, Guåhan herein directs that this official expression of its recognition and congratulations be forthwith sent on behalf of the Liheslaturan, Guåhan, and the people of Guam, signed and sealed in the city of Agutnia, Guam, on the 9th day of October 2025. Of course, and certified by Frank F. Blas Jr., Speaker, Chairperson, of course, the Committee on Rules, V. Anthony Ada, and attested by Legislative Secretary Sabrina Salas Matanani, and of course myself, sponsor Jesse A. Lujan, and of course my Vice Chair in my committee, of course, is Senator Chris Duenas. Thank you very much for joining us as well. So Dora, please come up, and we'll have the Speaker and Vice please present this to you.
Ms. Dora, in behalf of the 38th Guam Legislature, but more importantly, the people of Guam, we want to thank you for all the work and everything that you've done to further our educational journey for all of the children that you were a part of, okay? And for making sure that my wife too had something to eat when we came. Okay? Congratulations, okay? And enjoy and keep him in line, okay?
See you next school year. Next school year. Thank you, Jesse. See you next school year.
Benny, congrats, Benny. Congrats, Benny. Yeah. Come on, wait.